You're listening to the Long Game Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Scaiano. And today I am going to be talking about one of my favorite topics. It actually took me a little bit to cut down what I was saying in this episode. I love talking about courses and memberships as experiences, experiences for both the member and the student and the course owner. This might be a buzz phrase. Courses are experiences. You hear people say, at least I hear that. But there really is a deep meaning to this, a deep effect that approaching your digital product in this way can create. So in my view, the buzz phrase is absolutely true. Courses and memberships, they have multiple touch points that when explored and fully realized can support member success, can build customer loyalty, and support the running of the business. So courses and memberships done right, we take them, we know, they help us feel something, right? Whether it is the emotion of, the process of overcoming an obstacle, the joy of building success from the course, or that cozy feeling of learning to cook a nourishing meal for your family, course and membership experiences are riddled with emotion. And emotion, it's the ultimate experience. So we want these emotional experiences to be transformational, to be positive, to be inspiring. So building out your digital product with attention from the start allows for flow of learning and for flow of teaching. Today, we are talking courses and memberships are experiences. You're listening to the Long Game Podcast with Sandra Scaiano. In a world where everyone is doing, it's easy to get lost in a sea of comparison, secret tricks, and promises of overnight success. The long game is my approach to business, the actual day in and day out philosophy that you have to show up, you have to do the work, and there's no quick fixes for long-term success. I'm a web designer, digital strategist, and energetic thinker, and I'm here to share the process and lessons I experience with my clients daily who are going through the same struggles of building a business as you are. We'll hear from successful entrepreneurs sharing their long game strategies, and I'm fun, so we're going to have a little fun along the way too. Thanks for being here. Let's get to today's episode. All right, welcome. I'm so excited to talk today about courses and memberships as experiences. And, when we say something is an experience, what does that really mean, right? I just want to say that I approach digital courses and memberships as two types of experiences. First, there is this experience for the student or the member. We create an experience through them through all the different touch points. And then there is an experience for the business owner and their team, how we build our product and our digital business foundation. It creates an experience for us as business owners. And if you are a Long Game Podcast listener, you know that I value the experience of being a business owner. No one gets into this for it to suck. We get into this for the exact opposite reason. We get into this to flourish, to feel free, to teach what we know. But it is a business. So there are some things that need tending to. When we have an experience, there are certain emotions that are associated, right? So if you are having, my personal favorite, the VIP ticket experience, you may get the best seat in the house. You get to enter early. You may have an area for private cocktails and your own bartender. Yeah, you guys are getting a sense of what I like, right? And all the while, you are feeling special, right? You are soaking it in. You're looking around. You're looking at the people. You're enjoying. And you feel the performance because you are so close. So experiences in the way I'm talking about mean that things have been thought out. Guests are taken care of. members are put in the best position to absorb the knowledge that you are dishing out. All right, so let's start with experiences for students or members. That's the first experience we're talking about. Thinking through your entire process, your customer journey, what happens inside the course, and what you want to have happen can go a long way. And actually, it does start before they even buy. The experience starts before they even buy. What's the funnel experience? How are you drawing them in? How are you conveying that this product is right for them? So those are all thoughts to have, but I'm going to expound upon those in another episode. For our purposes, in this case, we're going to start at purchase. I really want to focus on, the actual course or membership itself as an experience. So someone makes a purchase, and what happens? How you plan this next step or steps, how you plan it out is crucial to the overall experience that your member has. We've all heard about first impressions, and you want to make one that reassures your member of their purchase. Mapping out the entry into your digital product is a huge boost to your product success. So when you take the time to plan out the next steps after purchase, people feel taken care of. As much as we live in a digital world, there are still so many unknowns with digital products. Like, how does it work? Where do I go? Did my payment go through? People may have experience on one platform, but not another. So planning out these steps, it eases your buyer immediately. They are immediately attuned to the fact that they made the right decision in purchasing. So not thinking out these steps, it allows for buyer's remorse to creep in. Nobody wants that. So how people enter your digital product sets the tone for them engaging with the content. And since entry is the first impression, make it feel warm, make it feel cozy, make it feel secure. So I just want to put this out there too, that I am thinking of running a 5-day challenge where we map out a proper entry sequence for your digital product. If this is something that you're interested in, just drop me a DM either on Facebook or Instagram so I can get a sense of if I should create this. All right. So entry, wrapping it up. It's one of the most important parts of the experience for members. Got it. Another part is the content itself and how it's presented. I just want to say that I have taken a shit ton of digital courses and been in many memberships in my time. I've been in a lot of different platforms, and, this talk is not a platform debate when we talk about content, but I do think that some platforms outperform others in ease of use. So when it comes time for you to build out your course, take the free trial, see how it works. Just stop listening to everything you hear in Facebook groups. Most of these platforms offer a free trial, so test it out. All right. On the inside of your course or membership, what's that experience about? Well, number one, it's about your content, right? Spend the time and make it amazing. Publish it and start selling, and then go back and make it even better. Your content working, and I'm doing air quotes here, is obviously a huge part of the experience. So you've got to work on that and keep refining it as you go. All right. Number 2 on the inside is people need to know how to navigate the content. Is it easy to find? Hopefully you've pointed out where to go in the entry process, but once they're in the throes of watching your lessons, make sure members know where they can go next, where they can download a PDF, where they can leave a comment or get support. There's so many needs that people have when they're in an online course environment. And I just have to say, membership people, please, please, please plan out the journey. People need to know where to start because content overwhelm, it's a real thing. They need the roadmap. So the better people can navigate your content, the better they can take it in, and the more they can engage and be successful. All right, number 3 on the inside experience is let people know where they can ask a question or get support, and make this easy. I know so much goes down inside of Facebook groups or, other types of groups, but I have my clients keep the comments open on their lessons. So many people use the in app comment section to share a spark brought on for the content or ask a question. This is one thing I have seen over and over. Like, people use that comment section. So I love also that those comments are then kept attached to the lesson so that others can read the questions and see your answer that you've provided. But don't take that space away from them. That's like one other touch point space where they can feel like they can get an answer or share a win. And number 4, this really drives the experience as well, are your schedules. Although we as course creators eat, sleep, and breathe our digital products, not everyone else does. So another key to the experience is keeping in touch. This is the K in my peak framework. Set up those email reminder sequences. Post a PDF with a live call schedule. Make sure people know when and how to show up so they can engage. And this one sounds like a no-brainer, but you would be surprised how many course creators do not do this. All right, so as we look back on these few items that we discussed already, you can see how it starts to come together to create an environment where your members can feel supported, right? They can learn and engage, and they can grow from your content, right? A digital course is just made better with these kind of touch points. It's about entry. It's about your content. It's about knowing how to navigate the content. Take that time. It's about knowing how to get support or where to leave a comment or where to share. And it's about the scheduling of it all. Where should they show up? How can they engage? And, there are so many more than just these that I've mentioned. And even these ideas, they can totally be expanded and embellished. And that is really where the strategy comes in. Each course creator, and each audience is unique. So what you choose to include in your build out of your experience is also going to be customized. And, that's part of the fun, right? Like, tap into some of these universal best practices and then build upon them, customize them for your own course or membership situation. I'm in a number of paid course and membership spaces as a member, and I love to see how content is being presented. I mean, I know I'm not the norm. I'm analyzing it. But, I love to see how the experience is being tended to. And, some of the best ideas come from what you see happening out there or what you don't like about an experience that you're having. It's about what you're drawn to and what's putting you off. So it's always really good to pay attention to what's being done in other spaces that you are a part of. And again, I always say this, right? Look to other industries. If you're a member of something because it's a personal interest to you, see how they're doing it and what can you interpret from that and apply to your own work. Our own experiences elsewhere are ones to pay attention to. I've got private small strategy groups starting soon. And these are great ways to see what other course and membership creators are doing. Like, here you can tap into my expertise and then grow your ideas from what is happening in your group. It's a way to connect and hear what other people are doing and say, like, hey, that might work for me, even though it could be in a different industry. So, there is a link in the show notes if you're interested in checking those out more. All right, now we are going to shift to the course and membership creator experience. The experience you create for yourself and your team, running your business, has got to be one that you enjoy and can live with long term. We talked about this. No one gets into this to feel overwhelmed, run down, or any of the other myriad of emotions that come from not being properly set up or organized. We do this to share our knowledge, to share the good that comes from those life transitions, right? Like we do this to have some freedom in our lives, and we do this to be creators. This is creative living. And, I am really passionate about the Course Creators experience. And, I want it to be for you what you dreamed it can be, but with a good dose of reality in there too. Remember, it's a long game, people. But, if you set up your digital business properly, it will help you operate with more ease and more flow. I hear it all the time. How am I supposed to do it all? The content, the tech, run the Facebook group, keep up with social media. These are all aspects that need to be managed. And there are two concepts that every course creator needs to set time aside to implement. Number one is automations. So automations are your friend. Lean on your tech. I know automations sound like the unknown and scary, and maybe they're tough to figure out, but really we are all already doing some sort of automation in our businesses, such as like sign up for my newsletter and an email sends with a PDF to download. That is a very common automation. And this is why I'm just going to interject a little Kajabi love here for people to use Kajabi to start with, because the power of automations are built right in. It's much less of a tech mountain to climb to get your automation set up and working for you, because everything is inside the platform rather than having to make different softwares talk to each other. So, start to view automations as a digital VA, digital virtual assistant, who can help you manage things inside your course. The more you use automations, the more sophisticated you get in managing your business. And, I don't want you to confuse sophistication with complexity. The idea here is to be savvy and utilize these tools to help make things easier on you. Because remember, in the early stages of your digital course journey, you are doing it all. The more you can leverage a thoughtful foundation that includes automations, the less customer service queries you have to handle, the better you can segment your list to sell more to your fans, and the more you put your mind at ease knowing that what you have set up happens every time for every member. All right, so what are some automations that can help us manage things? So there are, I'm just going to go over a few. I mean, obviously there's a ton, and actually this is another idea for a 5-day challenge as well. So segmenting, use automations to tag your customers at every stage. And, you'll be able to filter these contacts in so many ways. Communication, another reason to use automations, right? Use automations to send emails of any kind out. And a third idea, this is one that people do not think about in the grand scheme of things, but the exit strategy. What happens when someone leaves your world? Automations, that's what happens. So the other concept that directly affects course creators' experiences are systems. So I'm going to quote Atomic Habits author James Clear here. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Systems are what get you to your goals. And most course creators are doing this game without building the proper foundation, which includes systems. You need systems that work before you can scale. And systems should be created for anything that has to be done more than once. Having a system means that you fall right into place. You know what you need, you know what the next step is, without having to recreate the process. And another thing with systems, it allows you to delegate. Once you have a system set up, teach it to someone else, have them help you. So this is why the building phase takes a little bit of time. You build the systems you need as you go, but you will take longer if you do not build the systems the first time. And every time you need to perform that task, it's going to be from scratch. So having systems creates a better experience for you. And they are at every level and in every department of your business. And, as you start to grow a team, I just talked about delegation, but part of the experience you need to pay attention to is making sure that everyone knows what to do. Creating systems and procedures for team members to follow, so important, because without this, everything comes back to you as the business owner. So systems help to take things off of your plate, right? I talk a lot about my podcast. I use it as an example. So my podcast production is a smooth system. We all know our roles, we know our deadlines, and I take full responsibility. As the podcast creator, I drive this. If I work ahead and batch some episodes, we all work with a time cushion. If I miss a week or two, it eats into that cushion, and we all have to be mindful of having things ready week by week. So I then create more episodes to recushion so we can all exhale. My system helps me control my team's experience. So the course experience for business owners, it comes through planning, through research and working with others so that you learn what you can build for yourself. It is thoughtful time. And I really want to encourage you to spend that time, brainstorming what automations you can think of that you need. You may only come up with a few at first, and that's okay. Get those implemented and build from there. And start hanging out with other course and membership creators. Talk to them about what they do and tell them what you do, and seek out this knowledge from people who know, because, you may be an absolute expert in your area, but you've got to learn how to run a digital business. I always tell my clients that, no one can know all of this, right? There is so much in the digital realm, and it is changing every day. So, we need to lean on each other. We need to learn from each other. That's why you're listening to this podcast right now, right? I have gained my knowledge that I have from being in different groups and having different friendships with other business owners, so that I can keep growing and learning, and we grow and learn together. So, make business friends, people. Join a group program. You can check out mine. The link is in the show notes for course and membership creators. And surround yourself with people who want to be having these conversations, right? Because that's how you are going to continue to create the best experience through your course, through your membership, and for yourself. And all of this is part of your experience as a course and membership creator. So, all right, this was a fun episode for me. I could have talked a ton more. I know I gave you a lot of hey, if you're interested in this, check that out. Because I really do want to know if you want me to create some of these things. I feel like I've identified some areas that people need a little boost with. And so definitely in terms of the entry, mapping out the entry process and the automations process, those are things that I want to know. Do you want to know about? Do you want to do a challenge on and get those things set up for your business? So drop me a line. If so, make sure you are subscribing. If you like this episode, share it with a friend so that we can get more people listening, and, let's just spread the word a bit. So I want to thank everybody for being here with me this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining me today. You can access more info in the show notes at thelonggamepodcast.net. If today's show connected with you in some way, please share it with your friends or hop on iTunes and leave me a review. Until next time, keep playing the long game.